All right, Mr. D, problems for garden seedlings. Where do you want to start with that?
Probably the number one problem that I see in with garden seedlings is folks starting too early, and they try to plant. We're chomping at the bits right now. We're blowing and going. We're ready to go, and you prevent a lot of problems if you wait until the soil is warm enough to plant, and like damping off, the seedling diseases and things like that. I used as a guide on this Tennessee Vegetable Garden, Natalie, one of our specialists, UT, I think put this together.
She did.
But she has a really good section in here on getting started right, and that's the main thing. Soil testing.
Yes.
Don't guess soil test. Make sure your pH is right in your garden, and trying to prepare in advance will prevent a lot of problems. That's kind of what I'm saying here. Planting at the right depth is important. A general rule of thumb is twice the diameter of the seed. Some of the very, very, very small seeds, you really don't need to even cover them almost, and I'm talking about turnip seed and things like that. If you're transplanting plants, make sure that they're healthy. Make sure that they're a good green color. Make sure they're not leggy. And you can, don't just buy them on sale. If it's a clearance sale on transplants, then you may have a problem. You may be buying a problem. Another thing is if you're going to transplant, take plants outside. It's a good idea to harden them off a little bit. Gradually introduce them to the outside. If they've been in the greenhouse, and then you directly take them outside, and it was 39 degrees last night. Yeah. That's going to be kind of a shock to me and you, but it's also a shock to the plants. Choose good quality seed. Some folks like to save their seed. Some folks like to use seed left over from last year. Older seed has a lower germination rate. Not a problem with doing that, but you probably need to increase your seeding rate if you're using older seed. But seed is probably the least expensive thing that's going into your garden, and it'd probably be a good idea to start with good seed. Start with good seed. If you've some of the problems, if you plant seed and they do not emerge, it could be that the seed is old or was improperly stored, had very poor germination. It could be that I mentioned make sure your soil temperature is good, but also the moisture conditions need to be good. If the soil is too wet or too dry, that can create problems. You like to be able to pick up a dirt clod or ball it up and then it crumbles and falls apart. If it sticks together, it's too wet, and if you pick it up and dust flies, you may be a little dry. But and then another thing is planting too deeply. If you plant too deep, sometimes it takes a lot longer for it to come up. Sometimes they won't come up. And then the damping off that I mentioned, and that is simply the seedling will come up and then the stem will look pinched and they'll fall over or begin to die. That could be Phytophthora root rot. That could be Rhizoctonia. There's several fungus diseases that can cause that, and they're usually only there when the soil is too wet. Okay. And also when temperatures are a little too cool.
Right.
And that's a very common problem. If they're tall and straggly, that indicates that your light conditions, you don't have enough light. If they're trying to search for the sunlight, the gardens need to be in full sun if you can. If leaves aren't on the trees right now and you've got full sun in an area, you need to remember what it's going to look like when that tree is leaved out.
Right.
And it's not a good idea to put them in an area where there's too much shade. I know sometimes that's a problem, but pretty much try to prevent problems. Try to think ahead. Go small rather than big. Remember what the temperature and what the situation's like in July and August when the weeds are growing, plant. The size needs to be a size that you can manage, but there's a lot of things that you can be planting right now. Natalie's guide. It's got
That's a
I've
good
got a
guide.
lot of things listed that you can already put in the ground. Beets, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, carrots, collards, kale, lettuce, onion, English snap peas, radish, spinach, turnips, things like that.
Right.
You can already be going with. Too early to plant tomatoes right now. Hold off on the snap beans, sweet corn, and butter beans, things like that. It's a little bit early for those kind of things. But, you know, think ahead, make sure your soil is in good shape, wait until it's, the soil temperature is warm enough and the soil is dry enough, and use good quality seed, plant in full sun, and you ought to be okay. You ought to be good to go.
We're gonna have to wait a long time for that soil to dry out with all this rain we've had here lately.
True.
That's for sure.
Yeah, but you know, sunshine and wind
We'll
can
do it.
dry things out pretty doggone quick, and you know.
You know, and you hear so many people talk about planting at Good Friday. Well, you forget there's a 30-day swing in there that thing can fall. So,
Right.
you know, typically our last frost is around April 10th or so. And it's probably the 1st of May before the ground really warms up,
Yes.
you know.
Good
You're talking
while.
about cotton farmers, they're not going to plant before then.
68 degrees.
Yeah.
That's the temperature that you're
So
looking for.
it's,
Soil temperature is 68 degrees.
Yeah, that's critical in getting that soil temperature up. And
And that's still pretty cool if you're sitting down on the ground on the bank
is.
fishing. You know, it's still 68 degrees. Still a little chilly.
Appreciate that, Mr. D. Good stuff. All right. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. To find out more information on this topic, just click on the familyplotgarden.com link in the description.